Holy shit. The tech guy. My God. Help with this fucking Wi-Fi earlier in the day. They said it was supposed to be here between 11 and 2. They come here after fucking 2 o'clock. Now I gotta reschedule everything because I gotta go home. I gotta fucking clean my room and dust my shit. And I gotta go eat dinner. By the way, I had a nice steak dinner with tater tots. It was phenomenal. What the fuck is going on with my Roku? What the fuck is going on with it? What is going on over here? Go to Peacock! Stupid ass Roku. Peacock. I understand that it's past the usual stream time, but you gotta work with me here. Look at this shit. How many people we got in here? I haven't even hit the intro yet, and I haven't even put on the fucking... I did put it on, but it decided to glitch out on me. Only on the DJ Storms channel. We got Hooligrim, we got... Who else? Who the fuck else is gonna come in? The Royal Rumble. Don't freeze up on me. Royal Rumble, yes, that's what I clicked on. We'll go to the 2017 one. Does that sound good, Roku? Looks like the cock is working. Peacock, get your mind out of the gutter. Where was I? Oh, yeah, here we go. Tech guy didn't get here on fucking time, so now I gotta push the stream back. But regardless of that, that still does not change the fact that it's Saturday! You know what that means. We're live! Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the one and only DJ Storms, and I would like to welcome each and every single one of you back here to the greatest fucking show on earth. Streaming live on 4 different platforms and 6 different accounts simultaneously. Why? Because I am just that damn good. As of course, you already know who I am, Mr. Controversy and the operator of the best damn Twitter handle. No. Shit. You like that? A little bit of a change up. But the intro may have changed up slightly, but the smell remains the same, and that's the smell of pure excellence. Wait for it. Wait for it. To mankind! And this is the official Lightning Flash update for Saturday, December 17th, 2022. The daytime has gone away, but I don't care because I say, bring on the night! Bring on the night! We're going to have a good time. We have a real good time. I see we got the Final Hoss, Sleeping Angels, and Adam Carl in the chat, too. All right. I can dig that, sucker. Hopefully the Wi-Fi is back in shape, up to par, up to code, because we got a lot of shit to go through, dissect, analyze, and go over. My fucking God, what a newsworthy fucking week in the world of professional wrestling. It has been absolutely insane from top to bottom. I was actually pissed off because I thought that I wasn't going to get the chance to talk about it. But I'm here. I'm here, and it's Saturday night. Thank you for choosing to spend your Saturday nights with DJ Storms, because let's be real, when it's DJ Storms, it never fails. DJ Storms is the way to go all day, every day, because everybody wants a piece of the Stormsmeister. Of course, we got a lot of news, a lot of rumors. We got Vince McMahon intending to return to WWE as its CEO. Fuck that. We got none other than Sasha Banks being done with WWE. Mandy Rose has been released. Brock Lesnar could very well be in store for a huge match at WrestleMania, a dream match of many. We got a lot of news to dissect. We also got Earl Colbay in the chat and Philly Sports Talk Podcast reminding everyone that I am the best in the fucking business. We got Raging Girl Gamer as well. Shout out to Raging Girl Gamer. Of course, I will be having her on the channel very, very soon in the new year. Shout out to Rage. So, before we get into what we're going to get into, please, ladies and gentlemen, remember the usual shtick when it comes to the DJ Storms channel and when it comes to anything DJ Storms related. You must be sure to follow me on social media at HistoryMakerDJS. That is at HistoryMakerDJS on both Twitter and the Instagram. Please make sure that you add me on Facebook as well for collaborations and business inquiries. Please send me an email. My email is, of course, StormsTakeOver@gmail.com. Please make sure that you like the official DJ Storms a business page, and I may just send you an invite to join the official DJ Storms Posse group on Facebook. That is, all of those links are in the description as we speak, so check them out if you haven't already checked them out. Please make sure, if you haven't already done so, that you go and check out the ISPW Christmas Chaos Part 2 vlog, which was a fantastic show. Really good stuff. Probably the best show that they could have possibly ended the year with. We had a big fatal four-way ladder match for the Tri-State title, which saw Michael Mars retain. Bull James turned heel and aligned himself with Maven. He retained the World Championship. You got Eric Corvus taking on Pittman, Bulldog Pittman, which was great. Eric Corvus is slowly becoming one of my favorite professional wrestlers. Rick Recon shined a lot. Lots of good stuff going down with ISPW. So I'm very, very excited to see what the future may hold for ISPW in 2023. And I got a lot of good content coming to you guys next year. I'm thinking about doing a Christmas Eve live stream. If I don't, and I'm probably not. I'm thinking about it, but I probably won't because I do want to spend it with family. I might do something next Thursday. I may do something next Thursday, just a little mini LFU on a Thursday evening. And if I do, I will be sure to notify you guys. But I will be going live on New Year's Eve in the afternoon, obviously. You're going to end the year. You got to end the year right. You're going to end it with DJ Storms because let's be real. There's DJ Storms and then there's everybody else. So please make sure that you set your calendar dates for New Year's Eve because I'll be going live with the LFU and I will be doing a top 10 matches of 2022 list. So if you guys want to hear my thoughts regarding the best matches of 2022, please go and check it out ASAP. Set your calendar dates because you are not going to want to miss it. With DJ Storms, you never are going to want to miss a thing because everything that I do, everything that I touch turns to gold. Please make sure, if you haven't already done so, like the stream, whether you're watching it on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, or the Facebook page. Please make sure that you share it out. People, share the stream out. We want to get as many people in here as possible. Share the stream out on all platforms of social media. Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, Tumblr, Snapchat, TikTok, Facebook, whatever social media platforms that you may be using because we want to get the largest outreach possible. And check out all the Hardcore Sports social media links. Twitch, which we are streaming live on at Hardcore Sports 1. Instagram at Hardcore Sports Network. Twitter, which we're live on at Hardcore Sports N. And YouTube, which we are live on at Hardcore Sports Network. We are going to be the #1 brand and the #1 channel on YouTube for all sports analytical content, including baseball, football, basketball, hockey, UFC, WWE, AEW, Ring of Honor, no matter what it may be, we are going to be number fucking one. Just like I'm number one. Just like I am the alpha male of the IWC. We're going to rename Saturday. Fuck Saturday. We're going to call it Storms Day. Fuck Saturday Night Live. This is the real Saturday Night Live. This is Storms Day Night Live, motherfucker. Now then, please make sure you hit the subscribe button. And be sure to hit that notifications bell with a huge coup de grace, because that way you're going to know whenever I pop up on YouTube. Because whenever I pop up on YouTube, oh, babe, it is the best time to be on YouTube. And Earl Cole is finally here for this, because it's the only time you're going to get to see this glorious sideburn chin strap combination and this beautiful mustache right here. Give me one solitary second. Hey, Earl, it's your part, baby, because we got that magic Ace comb. And my God, how fitting is it that it has the name Ace on it? Because I'm the ace of the IWC, and we're going to light it up right here with a little and a dash of and a whole lot of I actually put a little beard cream in this morning when I was getting dressed. You know, the beard cream, it, you know, controls the hair, it controls the stubbles, it makes for a nice smooth skin after the shave, you know? Because like Campbell's soup, just like a nice hot sizzling New York strip steak off the grill, seasoned with paprika and garlic salt, with some Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce on the side, with some tater tots and Caesar salad. Am I making you hungry yet? Oh, you know I am. I'm just so good. Everybody wants a piece of Stormsmeister. Oh, speaking of good, you are not going to want to miss Monday, because on Monday, I got the official DJ Storms original Christmas song coming out. The Herald Angels are going to take a back seat because the Posse members have the reins now, and the Posse members are going to be singing glory to DJ Storms the King. Also, Earl Cole, yes, indeed, I will be back on Earl Cole's channel on January 19th to dissect AEW Dynamite. It is going to be a great show. I cannot wait for it. And I'm very, very happy indeed that Earl Cole is inviting me back on his channel. It's always a pleasure, and I thoroughly enjoy it every single time. But enough of the self-brand promotion and the advertisements. People. We're going to get straight into the topic of discussion right here. News, rumors, and reports. Let's get into it. I got one from Fightful. Fightful reported that a certain NXT superstar will be getting called up sooner rather than later. And that superstar is good old Cameron Grimes. And I'm going straight to the moon. Cameron Grimes. He's my guy, actually. I'm a Cameron Grimes guy. Cameron Grimes is fan. Cameron Grimes is legitimately the hick version of Bryan Danielson. The guy could have a great match with anyone. The guy could lead a fucking plastic mannequin to a 4-star match at least. Guy's phenomenal at what he does. Cameron Grimes, who right now is probably one of the best baby faces in NXT, Fightful reported that he will be getting called up to the main roster very, very soon. It is unclear when exactly he will show up and against who, but he's slated to be called up any day now after losing his most recent match on NXT a couple weeks back to Joe Gacy. Now, I am very, very excited about this call. Cameron Grimes, if you guys have not been paying attention, Cameron Grimes is a fucking beast when that bell rings. Cameron Grimes can wrestle his fucking ass off. And he's entertaining. He's wildly entertaining. The guy can do it all. The guy is so damn good at what he does. It's an absolute fucking crime that he has not won the NXT World Championship. Yes, he was North American champion for a couple months, but I mean, that guy was worthy of a fucking NXT World Championship with the babyface run that he was on, not just and NXT North American Championship. Cameron Grimes is fucking amazing. And I'm telling you, he's fucking great. Cameron Grimes has had some of the best matches on NXT TV that I could remember since the days of Gargano and Ciampa and Cole and Ricochet. He was leading everyone to great matches. Dijakovic, Keith Lee, Johnny Gargano himself, Matt Riddle, people like LA Knight. The feud with LA Knight in 2021 was fucking amazing. Excellent stuff. Over the $1 Million Championship and Ted DiBiase. Fantastic. Cameron Grimes is so good at what he does, and I could not be more happier that he's finally getting called up to the main roster. Now, I don't know what's going to happen with him. That remains to be seen, but I mean, you put him anywhere, and he's going to fit like a glove. You want to put him on Monday Night Raw? Have him fighting guys like Rollins and Theory and Ali and Ziggler and Gargano. I'd love that. Have him go to SmackDown. You can have him fight Gunther and Ricochet and Santos Escobar and Butch and Nakamura. Can you imagine a Gunther versus Cameron Grimes? I'm telling you, Cameron Grimes would sell his fucking ass off to make Gunther look like $1 million. Not that he doesn't look like $1 million, but I mean, you imagine a match like that? I'd love to see that shit. Cameron Grimes getting called up to the main roster, it's a very good thing. Very good thing, and he's going to add a lot of value in whatever position that they place him in, because he is that damn good. He's very versatile. Can't wait to see what he does. This is an interesting report, rather. According to PW Insider, the NXT tag team of Idris Enofe and Malik Blade were backstage at Raw this past week. Now, I did not do my research for WWE Main Event. I do know of one wrestler that did appear on Main Event, and we're going to talk about her later. But as far as Idris Enofe and Malik Blade goes, I'm not really sure why they would even contemplate calling that tag team up. They're not ready by a long shot. They still got plenty more to learn, plenty more time to grow, plenty of more tips that they could consume while down in NXT before they get called up to the main roster. They are not ready by a long shot. They haven't even made a name for themselves down there yet. Can't even fucking speak today. They have not even made a name for themselves down there yet. So why would you even contemplate calling them up now? My guess is if they did appear on Main Event, which I don't think they did, but if they did, then this was just nothing more than a little test run. This was a little test run by Triple H, and my guess is that he just wants to get more NXT superstars familiar with the main roster stage. And that probably is what he was doing for Idris Enofe and Malik Blade. He probably has high hopes for them. And I wouldn't say that I have high hopes for them too, but I do believe that they could be a really solid tag team. They got a great look. They're very good in the ring. They're only getting better. Maybe the promos could be a little bit better, but I mean, I'm actually enjoying what Malik Blade and Idris Enofe can do. Their match against Pretty Deadly was a very good tag team match, so I can't really complain about that. I don't know why you would even contemplate calling this tag team up when they're not ready, which is why I do believe that this was just a scenario where Triple H is trying to get them integrated with the main roster stage, which is completely fine. It's completely fine because Vince McMahon would probably just call them up willy-nilly and they would be thrown in the deep end without any preparation. So I actually don't mind that move by Triple H at all. Speaking of a move by Triple H, that is a great move, actually. William Regal, he is indeed returning to the WWE, and it is being reported that he is going to be returning next year in a vice presidential role, which is higher up on the totem pole towards Triple H than the last role that he had. Ain't that fucking poetic justice? Man, I could not be more happier for William Regal. The fact that he was fired. He was let go. He was treated like shit under Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard. And now that he's back, and he's in a scenario where he is higher up on the totem pole in terms of power, he's able to work with his son. He's able to live nice and comfortably in WWE, knowing that him and Triple H are going to get along very well and they're going to work together like fucking peanut butter and jelly on a sandwich. Right there. That right there is poetic justice, and I could not be any more happier for William Regal. This is great. And William Regal, we already know how good William Regal is in terms of scouting talent and having an eye for the next big thing. I mean, how do you think WWE got Gunther and Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate and Trent Seven and Mark Andrews when they were there? Because of William Regal. William Regal is going to be a great vice president of WWE, and he is going to bring a great sense of leadership. He is going to bring a great sense of backstage morale. He is going to boost the backstage morale tenfold. Can you imagine how happy some of the people that are backstage in WWE are that William Regal is coming back? Can you imagine how happy guys like fucking Karrion Kross are, and Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa when he comes back, and Dexter Lumis? Can you imagine guys like that? Can you imagine the guys like Ricochet that were there when William Regal was at the height of his GM run? Can you imagine guys like that are so damn fucking happy that William Regal is back? It's a great feeling. It's a great feeling, and I cannot wait. I really can't. Cannot wait to see what William Regal has in store. Keeping up the trend of positive news, because I'm mainly saving the negative news for later on. Keeping up the trend of positive news, Mike Mansberry, former vice president of global television production for WWE, has been hired by AEW. And he actually started this week as senior vice president of co-executive production for AEW Dynamite and Rampage. Now, I'm not sure if you guys sensed it, but the fluidity of Dynamite and Rampage was really, really, really good. The fluidity of Dynamite and Rampage, it really did remind me a little bit of the fluidity of a Monday Night Raw or a SmackDown. Everything just, it connected well. It connected well. It flowed very well. Everything served a purpose. Everything felt as though it was given a little bit more time, and the transitions between segments were great. Everything felt like it just flowed from one segment to the next, whether it be a promo, whether it be a match. We saw a nice promo by FTR on Rampage. Some really, really, really good stuff, I gotta say. Some really good stuff. So if that is the production that we're going to be getting from Mike Mansberry, I'm telling you, he's going to be a real, real game changer for AEW in terms of the production. He is really going to bring a newfound sense of professionalism to the production of AEW. It's going to take AEW up to the next level in terms of production, and his presence, the change is already being felt. And that's what I love about this hire. This is a great hire, and Tony Khan, he should be patting himself on the back that he was able to scoop up Mike Mansberry. Mike Mansberry is going to be a great asset to everything AEW related, and I cannot wait to see what he does in 2023. Could you imagine some of the video packages that he could produce? Can you imagine some of the segments that we could see and how good the production is going to be? The new camera angles. I felt the new camera angles with AEW this past Tuesday. Great overshot camera angles of the House of Black after they just got a victory on Dynamite. I'm loving it. I'm really, really loving it. And I cannot wait to see what Mike Mansberry puts forth in 2023. Brock Lesnar. According to a new report from WrestlingNews.co, Brock Lesnar's opponent for WrestleMania will not be Bobby Lashley. Will not. But instead, they are currently discussing that the Ring General, Gunther, is going to be Brock Lesnar's opponent at WrestleMania. The site wrote, and I quote, "After asking someone who's familiar with the creative plans, WrestlingNews.co was told that Lesnar versus Gunther is one of the matches listed internally for the show. Gunther has talked about wanting the match because he feels that a match with Lesnar would present the biggest possible challenge for him. Now, I am excited about this, but at the same point in time, I'm not sure if now would be the proper time. Because if anything, I had it in my head that we were going to see Sheamus and Gunther at WrestleMania, Sheamus and Gunther Part 3, and we were going to see Sheamus inevitably win the Intercontinental Championship and become a Grand Slam champion. That's what I had in my mind. Now, we didn't get that. Or we're not getting that in terms of the internal plans. So what happens going into WrestleMania? I don't know. Does Gunther keep the title going into a match with Brock Lesnar? I mean, if that's the case, I definitely would not mind that. I mean, it would make Gunther look like a beast if he beat Brock Lesnar, retain the Intercontinental title, and it would make the Intercontinental title look great too. It would really make the Intercontinental title feel important. But then again, what happens with Sheamus? I don't know. Maybe, now I'm not sure if this is absolutely going to be the case. Maybe we see Sheamus beat Gunther before WrestleMania. Maybe, how about this? Maybe we see Gunther and Brock Lesnar have a little back and forth in the Royal Rumble. Maybe we see them have a little back and forth at the Royal Rumble. Maybe after we get Lesnar and Lashley at the Rumble, which I assume is going to be the case, they could have a singles match on the undercard in the Rumble. Lesnar's in the Rumble. What if Gunther eliminates Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble? Now, I pitched this idea for Karrion Kross because I thought that Kross would have been a better opponent for Brock Lesnar, considering that Gunther would be fighting Sheamus. But what if we reverse the roles? Instead of having it being Kross, then we can have it be Gunther. And if Gunther's going to drop the Intercontinental Championship, what if we have Gunther eliminate Brock Lesnar in the Royal Rumble, then at the Elimination Chamber, Gunther defends the Intercontinental title against Sheamus, and Brock Lesnar costs Gunther the championship? What if Brock Lesnar costs Gunther the championship and Brock Lesnar fucks over Gunther? Gunther drops the title to Sheamus. Sheamus can go into WrestleMania as the Intercontinental Champion, and then Gunther can go after Brock Lesnar and seek revenge for him costing Gunther the Intercontinental title. That's definitely a route that they could take. And you know what? If they do take that route, I'm not going to complain about that. I'm not going to complain about that at all. That would actually be a pretty interesting, a pretty creative route. And it would make sense. It would make sense. Lesnar wants revenge on Gunther for eliminating him in the Rumble. Gunther gets fucked over by Brock Lesnar, and then Gunther goes after Lesnar at WrestleMania with Gunther winning. I mean, it's a win-win. That would probably be the best way to take the title off of Gunther and protect him. I can't sit here and complain about that at all. I think that would be a great decision. Now, I would personally prefer Gunther and Sheamus at WrestleMania and Brock Lesnar putting over Karrion Kross, but you know, beggars can't be choosers. We'll have to see what happens. But if done right and built up correctly, I would not mind seeing this match between Gunther and Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania at all. Cassidy Haynes of Bodyslam.net. Now this is a piece of negative news. And I actually was not anticipating reporting on this, but unfortunately it had to be reported on because it is quite newsworthy. Cassidy Haynes of Bodyslam.net reported that the real reason Matt Riddle is off of television is not because of an injury. What Solo Sikoa did was all kayfabe. It was merely a way to write him off of television. He's actually off TV because he actually failed a drug test. He failed a wellness policy. This is his second wellness policy failure, his second wellness policy violation within the last 6 months. That's actually the reason why they bump out the SummerSlam match between him and Seth Rollins, and they moved that to Clash at the Castle. They did that because Riddle failed a wellness policy test, so they punished him by taking his match off of SummerSlam and having Seth Rollins embarrass him by stomping his head into the mat every single week. And then they moved the match to Clash at the Castle, which ended up being a fantastic match. This was his second violation, and he has indeed been suspended and sent to rehab. Now, seeing that this was his second violation, he could have received termination, but he instead ended up getting sent to rehab. And if termination is a possibility, it would likely have to come after his third wellness policy violation. Now, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what drug that he tested positive for. I can think of a few. Maybe he was on the same drugs that Roman Reigns was on when he failed the wellness policy. What was it? Adderall? Something like that? Was he doing the lines that Tony Khan reportedly did? Now, it's a fucking stupid joke on social media by the people, but I mean, could Matt Riddle be on the lines of coke? I mean, there was so many stories going around down in NXT. I mean, look at what happened with EC3 and Velveteen Dream. Velveteen Dream actually came out bashing EC3 because they had parties down there in Orlando, and there was women involved, and, you know, I'm assuming sex and cocaine. So, did Matt Riddle go back into the cocaine days? I don't know. That's a possibility. Now, I'm not sure what he's going through, but I can imagine that it has been a rocky road for Matt Riddle. I don't think Matt Riddle's a bad guy whatsoever. Matt Riddle's a very down-to-earth guy. Matt Riddle's a very chill and laid-back guy. It's definitely not weed. It's definitely not weed because the marijuana policy has lightened up a lot. That's lightened up a lot. Now, I don't know what kind of drug it is, but I mean, it just sucks for Matt Riddle. It sucks for Matt Riddle. And I don't believe that he would intentionally try to fuck up the good spot that he was in on television. Maybe they knew of this coming out of his program with Seth Rollins. That's why they rushed the third match. They gave Seth Rollins the United States title as a way to say, hey, look, this is what happens when you fail the wellness policy. We're punishing you. And then they had him lose to Seth Rollins. He was brought down to the undercard, and now he was taken out by Solo Sikoa. So, I mean, maybe they knew about this. Maybe they knew about this, and he wasn't getting himself right. So they forced him into rehab. I can't imagine what Matt Riddle is going through, and I realize that it must feel hard, but I'm not really sure if turning to drugs is the best possible outcome. I understand if you are depressed. Trust me, I understand if you're depressed. I understand if you are not feeling yourself. I understand if you are going through a lot, but I mean, there are other ways to do that. If you're going through something, you have to talk to someone about it. You can't just drown your sorrows in alcohol, smoking, or drugs, or anything like that. It's quite sad. It really is. I honestly feel bad for Matt Riddle. I can imagine that he's been going through a lot with the divorce. You know, he doesn't really get to see his kids all too often. People on social media trying to come after him and cancel him. And I can assume that he's probably not felt his best, but he continues to go to work because, you know, he has to be a man. He has to be a man. He needs to do what he needs to do, and he just needs to continue on and try and hope that things will get better. But in reality, if he's going to drown his sorrows in drugs and all that other shit, he's ultimately going to end up not just fucking up his career, but he's going to end up fucking up his life and himself. He's going to have to straighten his shit out. And it sucks, but at the end of the day, I can't really sit here and say that, oh, he doesn't deserve to be suspended, because at the end of the day, he fucked up. He fucked up, and he went down the wrong path. The one thing that he should be grateful for is the fact that he actually has a boss that gives a shit about him. Because if this was Vince McMahon, I'm sure that Vince McMahon would easily have fired him after the first strike. Would have easily fired him after the first strike. So, seeing he has a boss now in Triple H that actually gives a shit about him and treats him like a human being, he should be counting his blessings that Triple H cared about him enough to send him to rehab. I wish Matt Riddle nothing but the best. I really do hope that in the end, he gets himself right. I really do hope that he gets himself right. Main event. I don't cover main event, and I will not cover main event at all. But there was a rather important piece of information to come out of main event. And that is that Smiley Kylie Ray made her debut. Yes, Smiley Kylie Ray. She made her debut on main event before Raw this past Monday. She is now going by the name Brianna Ray. For those of you that do not remember Kylie Ray was actually the second female signee to All Elite Wrestling. She had one match. And that was the Fatal 4-Way match with Awesome Kong, Nyla Rose, and Britt Baker at the first ever Double or Nothing. And since then, she has not gotten a spotlight since, because apparently she has nerves, which is completely understandable. Obviously, she suffers with mental health issues. I can only hope that she is okay. I can only hope that she is in a better place mentally and emotionally. And I really do hope that we do see her come to the light on WWE TV, and we do see her break out, because I actually think that Kylie Ray is a very good professional wrestler. Kylie Ray's got a lot to offer. Kylie Ray is a genuine, likable individual. So at the end of the day, I guess she could be their new version of Babyface Bayley if they want her to be. I can only hope that she's not going to get anxious. I can only hope that she has the right people to talk to. I can only hope that she's surrounded by good people that are going to keep her happy. And I can only hope that she is fully ready and fully focused to take the world by storm. Because I'm telling you, Kylie Ray, there's a lot of talent that Kylie Ray possesses. And I don't even think she's even scratched the surface of her full potential yet. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing Kylie Ray when she inevitably gets up to the main roster. Thank you all for sticking by me and watching here on this fine Saturday evening. We are looking at 12 live viewers. I believe we also got some Facebook viewers too. You guys have been fantastic. Dee Dee and Paul the Shooter and Peanuts and Sleeping Angels and Lisa Wardlow. Lisa! Holy shit, I was wondering when you were going to show up. Lisa, she turns 40 today, and she still looks as sexy as ever. Lisa, happy birthday. We all love you. The DJ Storms posse loves you. I mailed out your wristband today. You should be getting it by next week as a birthday present and a Christmas gift from me to you, from the old Stormsmeister, from the devil himself. I hope you enjoy. Moving on here to a report that really got a lot of people talking. This report really got a lot of people talking. At NXT Deadline, we saw Roxanne Perez win the first ever women's and the first ever Iron Survivor Challenge in general. Hold on, Lisa. I thought you were 40. Oh, never mind. I shortchanged you by 1 year. I apologize. Regardless, you still look phenomenal. I would have never guessed you look any day over 30. You look great. But Roxanne Perez became the first ever women's and overall Iron Survivor Challenger winner this past Saturday, 1 week ago, actually, today, 1 week ago, around this time, she earned the right to face Mandy Rose for the NXT Women's Championship. And the match was originally slated for New Year's Evil. New Year's Evil is a special NXT event that they host every single year. They've been doing that for the last 2 years. They were going to do it again. It was slated to take place on January 10th. That did not happen. We saw a segment. This past Tuesday on NXT, which resulted in Mandy Rose attacking Roxanne Perez from behind. And Roxanne Perez challenged Mandy Rose to put her title on the line this past Tuesday, which she did. She did indeed do that. And Roxanne Perez and Mandy Rose had a decent little match. Really wasn't anything over the top, but it was a decent little match. It was there. And Roxanne Perez beat Mandy Rose in a rather unceremonious, rushed scenario and a rushed match, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. An overall rushed scenario to win the NXT Women's Championship. The following day, it was reported by Fightful that Mandy Rose has been released by the WWE. Now, why did she get released? If you guys have been paying attention, there was a privacy leak of Mandy Rose's fan site. It was released by this one guy that I've had blocked for many years now. His name is iBeastless. I've had him blocked for quite a few years now, and if you're wondering who he is a complete fucking no one. All he is a social media troll, a social media bum who probably still lives with his parents, that has never touched a pussy in his life, that has never gripped a firm female's ass, that has never suckled at a pair of tits in his life other than his own mother's. Pretty much what I'm saying is the guy is an absolute fucking loser. The guy's a loser. Beastless leaked Mandy Rose's private photos and videos, and they surfaced all over social media. And pretty much what it was a fan site. I believe it was MandySax.com, which is Mandy's real name, Mandy Sax. Amanda Sax. Amanda SACS.com. And apparently, she was getting rather explicit. Apparently, WWE fired her over the fact that she was producing this explicit content, and WWE is oriented around being a family environment. Now, First of all, if the third-party platform was still an issue, that would be ridiculous. It's not because of a third-party platform. Triple H is much more lenient. He doesn't give a shit about a third-party platform. If this was Vince, that would have been a different story. But this isn't Vince. This isn't Vince at all. Triple H has no problem with third-party platforms, but it all depends on what you are using the third-party platform for. And if that's the case, and Mandy Rose was using it to promote herself, that's not a problem. I mean, you want to do typical bikini photos, you want to do nice, custom, exclusive content that is somewhat suitable that you would see in a catalog, that's fine. But then it started to get more risque. It started to feel as though she was on Playboy. She was on a Playboy exclusive series. Started to get really, really explicit. That is a different type of scenario. Now, Mandy, apparently, according to some sources, WWE knew about this. They asked Mandy to take it down, They asked Mandy to take it down. Mandy said no. Mandy said that she didn't want to stop producing that type of content because she was making a lot of money. Now, the money is not an issue. You want to continue making a lot of money? That's completely fine. But if you're going to promote something, promote yourself in an explicit way that is not, it's not legal under the terms of your contract, considering that WWE is a family-oriented environment, then at the end of the day, you're going to get punished. So a punishment was warranted. But firing her? You fired her over that? You really just went right for the headshot? You couldn't have given her a warning shot, like a shot in the arm, or a shot in the knee, a shot in the foot, a shot in the leg. You had to go right for the kill blow over this? Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think Mandy Rose has had a single violation of any WWE policy. Not a wellness policy violation, not an ego problem, not an issue with another superstar where she was pissed off, she didn't complain about her spot or anything like that. This was her first real offense. And how long has she been with the company? What, 7, 8 years? And you fired her over this? Very, very hypocritical, considering that the Usos, they got DUI after DUI after DUI, and they didn't get fired. Why did you fire Mandy Rose? Some people were even saying that Mandy Rose, she intentionally tried to get herself fired because she saw how much money she was making with this, and she wanted to continue on doing this. Now, I'm not going to completely rule it out, but I mean, to me, it sounds a little ridiculous. And the reason why is because with everything that Mandy Rose did, to get better in the ring, get better on the mic, reinvent herself, and just completely revitalize her career. NXT revitalized Mandy Rose. I find it very hard to believe that she would give up all the potential that this gimmick could have had on the main roster. I'm not saying that she's going to be winning Royal Rumbles and main eventing WrestleManias, but, I mean, you could have at least gotten a few years of mileage out of this gimmick. You could have at least gotten a few decent matches and decent feuds out of people like Bianca and people like Becky or Bayley or Dakota or Io. With how good Mandy Rose got herself, she's not the best, but considering where she was a few years back, Mandy Rose, she really got better. She fucking busted her ass to get better. I find it very, very hard that Mandy Rose would intentionally try and get herself fired, and she would give up all the hard work that she did, putting herself through all this pain and all of this stress to revitalize her career. I find it very, very hard that she would give that up for a career in, for lack of a better term, softcore pornography. I find it very, very odd. For lack of a better term, I really, really find it odd that she would give all that up for softcore pornography. Or at least a form of that. So I don't think she got herself intentionally fired. I don't think she wanted to quit at all. There were people saying that Mandy Rose was blindsided. She was completely caught off guard by this firing. And you know what? A lot of people were. Why did Mandy Rose get fired? Now, I have a theory. I'm not sure how valid this is, but I have a theory. Maybe WWE realized that, hey, some people are getting a little too comfortable with the fact that Triple H is in charge. Matt Riddle violated 2 wellness policies, and he's still with the company. The Usos violated DUI after DUI after DUI. He's still with the company. Now, we do not want people to think that they could just do whatever they want without consequences. So you know what? Maybe we're going to fire the next individual that fucks up no matter what it's from. And it just so happened to be Mandy Rose. Now, I'm not sure how valid that is, but that's what it came off as to me, at least. Could be valid, could not be valid. But regardless of that, what Mandy Rose went through here was not fair. Not fair whatsoever. A suspension would have been more than enough of a punishment to handle this, but firing her, WWE really jumped the gun on Mandy Rose and left a lot of money on the table with Mandy Rose. Or maybe it was this. My dad brought this up to me earlier today. I was talking to him about this before I went live, actually, hours and hours ago. With all the allegations that came out against Vince McMahon about sexual misconduct, maybe WWE did not want to have any sexual conduct or sexual content promoted by any of their employees, because maybe they didn't want that tied into what's going on with Vince, because maybe that's a bad look. Now, I understand that Mandy didn't have anything to do with Vince McMahon, but maybe they just wanted to eliminate any overly sexualized content from their television program. You can clearly see the minor changes within the women's division on NXT, because before the women's division, they were wrestling in minimal clothing. It was all about the looks. It was never about the in-ring ability. It was all about pushing and overly sexualizing the women. It's all about the looks. We haven't seen that. We haven't seen that at all. But regardless of what it's from, they really jumped the gun here. They really jumped the gun. Again, firing her over this, her first offense. And listen, I hate social media narratives, and I really do hate the majority of the crowd that I've met on social media, minus the people in this chat, and obviously the people that I've met at the wrestling events too. But I gotta say, I agree with the crowd. I'm fully behind Mandy Rose here. WWE really jumped the gun on this, and honest to God, it's quite disappointing. It's quite disappointing the way that they handled themselves here. I would have expected a lot better from the WWE, and they could have handled this so much better. You could have easily threatened her with a suspension, taken the title off of her, and she could have missed the entirety of WrestleMania season, and then WWE could have been like, well, I hope that you've learned your lesson. That would have been just fine. That would have been just fine. But WWE ended up firing her. I honestly think this was just a snap, heat of the moment decision, because WWE, they figured that people were getting too comfortable with Triple H in charge, and they needed to make an example out of someone. And unfortunately, it was Mandy Rose. Is that fair? Absolutely not. Was a punishment warranted? Yes. But firing her? Fuck no. But Mandy Rose, she will succeed anywhere that she goes. She's very, very good, and she manages to make everything that she is in work. Mandy Rose manages to make whatever she does work, and that is very, very impressive to Mandy Rose and the kind of woman that she is. She's not one to quit. She's going to bust her ass until she gets whatever she needs to get over. So I wish Mandy Rose the best. And maybe, you know what? I actually hope WWE rehires her. Because if I'm going to be quite honest with you, Toxic Attraction is pretty much dead. Mandy Rose was the only good thing to come out of Toxic Attraction. Legitimately, it was like Shayna Baszler, Jessamine Duke, and Marina Shafir. Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir sucked. Gigi Dolan and JC Jane are terrible. They're sloppy. They're uncoordinated. They're not believable. They're all looks. And I'm not trying to kiss ass with this comment, but I see better women's wrestling at the ISPW events that I go to, more so than when I watch Gigi Dolan and JC Jane. Really. It's ridiculous. You may as well not even keep them around. And I don't want anyone to lose their job, but Gigi Dolan and JC Jane legitimately have no value without Mandy Rose. Mandy Rose was the only good thing to come out of Toxic Attraction. Now she's gone. I hope WWE realizes the mistakes that they've made, and I really do hope that they reconsider hiring Mandy Rose back. Moving on from a woman who was actually pretty decent in the ring to a woman who was never decent in the ring at all. I don't know where this shit came up. I don't know how this came up. I don't know what to think of this. Well, I do know what to think of this, but I mean, it just came out of no fucking where. Rumors are going around that Alicia Fox could be Saraya's tag team partner on Dynamite on January 11th, 2023. Now, I heard this from a couple of low-end fan Instagram pages. Now, I'm not really sure how valid this is, but the rumor going around is that she's training again for an in-ring return, and she knows that her last run ended horribly. I'm going to let you guys sit on that for a minute. Alicia Fox being Saraya's tag team partner against Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker. Just take it in. Take it in. Sit on it. My answer to Alicia Fox showing up and being Saraya's tag team partner, the answer to that is a big fuck no. Fuck no. 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 I do not give a shit when anyone says we are not even talking about Alicia Fox and the term women's wrestling together in the same sentence. Do not even bring, please, spare me the bullshit. Do not make me laugh. Is this a fucking early April Fool's Day joke? And some people were actually defending this. Some people were actually thinking that this was a good fucking decision. You out of your fucking mind? Listen. If she got herself sober, good for her. She got herself sober, good for her. She got herself right, good for her. She found someone that she loves. I think she got engaged as well. She's training. She wants to get better in the ring. Fine. I appreciate that effort. I really do appreciate that effort. But at the end of the day, the reputation that she left behind, whether or not the reason why she was so terrible in the ring was because of alcohol abuse or not, is irrelevant. At the end of the day, she could be sober, she can be engaged, she could be training to get better in the ring, fine. If she's getting her personal life in order, that's fine, that's great. And you know what? I'm happy for her. But at the end of the fucking day, that's not my business. It's not my business. Not my business at all. I don't give a shit what goes on in a wrestler's personal life. Okay? Now, Alicia Fox, she may be a nice individual. She may have gotten herself sober. She may have been in a scenario where she is now finally starting to feel like herself again, and she's in a good mental and emotional place, fine. But at the end of the day, that doesn't mean shit. Okay? I don't give a shit what goes on in a wrestler's personal life. All I care about and all my business is concerned with is what goes on when the camera starts rolling and when the bell rings. When the bell rings, that's my business. And when it comes to Alicia Fox, when that bell rings, she morally, ethically, spiritually, physically, positively, absolutely, undeniably, and entirely sucks. She is one of the worst women's wrestlers in the history of the business. If Matt Riddle can put on a match of the year candidate with Seth Rollins while potentially on fucking cocaine, but yet Alicia Fox can't even put on a halfway decent match, can't even do a single fucking punch correctly on alcohol, what does that tell you about Alicia Fox? That tells you Alicia Fox is a terrible professional wrestler, period. Alicia Fox, give me a fucking break. Look, if she wants to end her career on the proper terms, that's fine with me. But being Saraya's tag team partner after hyping up this match for so long, you honestly think that that is the best option? especially when Warner Brothers executives are going to be in attendance at the Forum in California? If Soraya's tag team partner is not Sasha Banks or Thunder Rosa, it is a complete flop. If it's not one of those two women, I do not even give a shit. Please, do not even bother. Do not even fucking bother with me. Alicia Fox being a mystery tag team partner for Saraya is a fucking disaster waiting to happen. You are not going to hype up something like that and not have it be a big name. And Alicia Fox, she ain't no fucking big name. She ain't no fucking legend. She was a fucking embarrassment. Whether or not it was because of alcohol abuse or not, I do not give a shit. I don't. Now, the rumors have since died down, but I'm telling you, when that day comes, it's going to be creeping in the back of my fucking mind. I just can't help but think the fucking worst. I just can't help but think the fucking worst. Speaking of the worst, that's not even the worst fucking report that I got for you. Apparently, Vince McMahon is planning to come back. Ringside News reported that Vince McMahon felt that retiring was the wrong decision and he intends to come back to WWE at some point. It is worth noting that Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful reported that WWE higher-ups want nothing to do with Vince McMahon. Now, I don't really want to think too much of this, and I really didn't want to report on this, but I mean, is it really too good to be true? Is it really too good to be true? I don't know. I don't know. Is it really too good to be true to think that Vince is gone? Could very well be. It honestly could very well be. Some people were even saying that, does Vince McMahon ever truly retire? A lot of people have been throwing that idea around. Some people think that Vince was never going to fully retire. Some people thought that Vince was going to inevitably reveal that he's still running WWE behind the scenes. There were people throwing that idea around a lot, and I was just like, I just let it roll off my back. I really just let it roll off my back because the television product, it showed something different. But I mean, holy fuck. Holy fuck. If this is a real possibility, we could be in for a fucking recession like we've never fucking seen before. I'm telling you. We could be in for a fucking recession worse than the United States of America is going through right now with fucking Joe Biden as the president, the illegitimate president. Excuse me. Trump won in 2020. Fuck you if you don't think so. But I'm telling you right now, if you want to talk about a fucking recession, holy shit, if Vince returns, this would probably be the biggest recession in pro wrestling that I've ever fucking seen. I'm telling you. And you know what? The more that I think about it, the more of a possibility it is. Because of how fucking egomaniacal Vince McMahon really is. People were actually thanking Vince McMahon when he inevitably hung it up. Listen, I don't give a shit what Vince McMahon did in the past. It's all about what you've done for me lately. Vince McMahon is a fucking piece of shit inside and outside the wrestling business. Why would you even be remotely excited, or why would you even be remotely somber that Vince McMahon hung it up? Vince McMahon hanging it up was the greatest decision that could have ever been made in the history of WWE. It was the greatest day in WWE history. Fuck Bryan winning the world title. Fuck Stone Cold. Fuck The Undertaker. Vince McMahon retiring July 22nd, 2022 was the greatest day in WWE history. Look at what we've gotten. I'm telling you right now, we haven't even scratched the surface of what Triple H is capable of. Triple H has not even fully begun the true process of rehabilitation. After WrestleMania, the real process of rehabilitation is going to begin. Because WrestleMania is going to be that ultimate reset. And once we get that ultimate reset, Triple H is really going to be put to the test, and you know that he's going to come out all guns blazing, and he's going to make sure that people are going to be tuning in to Raw, to NXT, to SmackDown. We've even seen NXT slowly start to improve, but it's not where it needs to be. The true process of repairment hasn't even begun yet. And if Vince was to come back, it would absolutely derail all the plans that Triple H has, and it would absolutely bring the company back down into the shithole that it was in before Vince McMahon retired. It's going to take years to fix what Vince McMahon did and what Bruce Pritchard did. If anyone could do it, it's Triple H, and I do have faith that he's going to do it. But at the end of the fucking day, it's not going to get done if Vince McMahon comes back. You honestly think that if Vince comes back, that he's going to be okay with all the people that he sees and all the people that were rehired, that he fired? Do you honestly think that Vince McMahon is just going to sit back and run WWE hand in hand with Nick Khan while Triple H handles all the creative? No, he's going to infiltrate creative. He's going to bring back everyone that left that was on his team. He's going to replace every one of Triple H's members with his own members, and he's going to infiltrate the company once again and take over and erase everything that Triple H has done up until this point. Vince McMahon is a fucking stage 15 level cancer. He's a stage 15 level cancer that needs to go away permanently. Vince McMahon, he does not give a single shit. He would rather take the company into the grave with him. He would rather take the company into the grave with him than sit back, retire, and watch people run it better than he did, especially his son-in-law after he got upstaged by his son-in-law for so many years with NXT Black and Gold before AEW came along. I would not be shocked if Vince McMahon is intending to come back. The only thing that we have right now that's our saving grace is the fact that the WWE higher-ups don't want anything to do with Vince McMahon, and rightfully fucking so. Rightfully so. But holy fuck. Holy fuck. I'm telling you, we could very well be on the verge of Vince regaining power, and I hope that's not the case. But at the end of the day, I've said it numerous amounts of times, and it could very well hold true. It could very well hold true. Vince McMahon will not truly be gone. Vince McMahon is not truly gone from the WWE and anything WWE related until his heart stops beating. Vince McMahon is never going to be truly gone from the WWE until the man no longer is breathing. The blood is not pumping through his veins. He is not conscious. The only way that Vince McMahon is going to be truly gone forever is when he is 6 feet under in a grave, whenever that may be. The one thing that I hope for is that more allegations come out. More allegations come out about how much of a piece of shit Vince McMahon is, and more allegations are going to further and further push Vince McMahon into the hole that he's already gotten himself into. My final report, and then we can get on into the weekly show reviews, and every show except for Raw actually felt lively. Sasha Banks, she is officially done with WWE, according to Dave Meltzer, following up on PW Insider's report that Sasha Banks is going to be at the Tokyo Dome for Wrestle Kingdom at the beginning of January. He reported that Sasha Banks is officially done with the WWE. Now, we all had it in our minds that Sasha and Naomi were coming back, considering that Triple H took over, and Triple H has a deep-rooted respect for both of those women, and Triple H respects the sport of women's wrestling, and he wants women's wrestling to thrive. He wants women's wrestling to thrive, and he wants to make sure that everyone employed feels like a superstar, feels like a professional wrestler, not professional wrestlers and fucking divas like we got under Vince and Bruce. Will we see her back in WWE? I do believe that we will see her back in WWE, but right now is not the proper time. Maybe she could be officially done with WWE altogether, and she's going to live out the rest of her professional wrestling career with New Japan, and New Japan could potentially lead to AEW. You know for a fact that she definitely wants to mix it up with some of the women on AEW TV. Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter, Hikaru Shida, Thunder Rosa, Toni Storm, Mercedes Martinez, Athena, Serena Deeb, just name a few. Maybe she could be done with WWE, and the only time that she's ever going to come back is when the Hall of Fame comes around. Who knows? Who knows? But why did Sasha leave? Some people were saying it was a money issue. Some people were saying that it was a contract issue. Some people were saying that Sasha wanted a huge apology after the way that she felt slighted under Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard. I don't know what exactly came up from this, but if WWE didn't pay Sasha what she's fucking worth, then that's fucking absurd. It's absolutely fucking absurd. You give that woman a fucking blank check because that woman is worth however many fucking millions that she wants, because Sasha Banks, whether you want to admit it or not, Sasha Banks is going to go down as one of, if not the greatest women's wrestler of all time, right up there with Bayley. Right up there with Bayley. The only woman that right now can hold a candle to Sasha Banks is Io Sky. She's phenomenal. She's unbelievable. Io Sky. Maybe I guess you could throw in Jamie Hayter. Maybe I guess you could throw in Athena. But I mean, Sasha's at the top of everyone's list. If Sasha's not at the top of your list as one of the greatest or potentially the greatest of all time, probably the greatest since Trish Stratus and Lita, you're out of your fucking mind. You are out of your fucking mind. You may be retarded. Why did Sasha really leave? Now again, my theory, but I guarantee you this theory holds a lot of validity. I understand that a lot of the feminazis out there might get a little pissed at what I'm saying, but at the end of the fucking day, it holds a lot of fucking weight. And it's true. I've said that women's wrestling in the WWE is just absolutely fucking dead. It's dead. And it's true. And why do I say that? It's not Triple H's fault. It's not Becky's fault. It's not Bianca's fault. It's not Becky. It's not Asuka. It's not Rhea. It's not Tegan Knox. It's not Liv Morgan. I'm not even blaming Ronda Rousey. Ronda isn't even to blame. The only people that are to blame are Bruce and Vince. I stated this numerous amounts of times. After Ronda Rousey's first run, which was great, and it did everything it needed to do, Ronda's first run made women's wrestling into a must-see sport. The women were actually outshining the men when Ronda Rousey was there the first time around. And Ronda Rousey made that women's division into something special. It brought a spotlight to women's wrestling, and so many people stepped up their game. Becky stepped up her game. Asuka, Sasha, Charlotte, Bayley, Ruby Soho, when she was there as Ruby Riott, she mixed it up with Ronda. Everyone stepped up their game. The women's division was one of the best aspects about the show. Look at the main event of TLC 2018 with Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, and Asuka. That was a great main event. Excellent main event. What did WWE do after that? Becky beat Charlotte, and she pinned Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania to win both the Raw and the SmackDown Women's Championship. And what happened? What happened? Her first feud coming out of WrestleMania was against Lacey fucking Evans. Lacey Evans, who to this day, I still don't know why she has a contract, and I don't give a shit if that's harsh or not. Women's wrestling was at its peak with Ronda Rousey there, her first run. And WWE did nothing to capitalize on it. That was their opportunity to make women's wrestling a mainstay. And then Triple H took over, and he continued the women's evolution and the women's revolution in NXT Black and Gold. So many great stars come out of NXT Black and Gold. Shayna, Kyrie, Athena, Asuka, however many, Ruby Soho, Nikki Cross. God, how many other fucking women? How many other fucking women? I know I'm missing a hell of a lot more. Dakota Kai. And what did Vince McMahon do with all of them? Vince McMahon just shit all over them. Because they weren't Nia Jax. They didn't have a famous last name. All because they weren't Charlotte Flair. All because they weren't Alexa Bliss. They were shit on. They were completely fucking shit on, and they were completely fucking buried. All the women's stars that Triple H created, Vince ultimately destroyed, buried, never to recover, fired. And women's wrestling ever since then, it's just been a bathroom break on the show. Not because the talent is bad, but because so many years of shit booking has created this mentality in the fans' mindset of, if they don't care, why am I'm going to care? Why am I going to care if they don't care? Why should I care if they don't care? And now we look at it today, and Triple H is fighting an uphill battle, as well as the females that are performing out there. They're fighting an uphill battle, trying to put women's wrestling back on the map, at least in the WWE. AEW's women's division is not where it needs to be, but they got a hell of a lot more going for it. You got the rise of Willow Nightingale, the rise of Sky Blue, the rise of Jamie Hayter. Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker, they're set on a collision course at some point. Saraya has looked great ever since she came back from 5 years worth of an injury and spinal stenosis. Thunder Rosa should be on her way back. Sheeta is doing great work. She's about to put on a banger of a match with Jamie Hayter next week. What about Mercedes Martinez and Athena? That match at Ring of Honor Final, that was a fucking great women's wrestling match. A great match. And Athena, a Triple H girl. She's the Ring of Honor Women's World Champion. She was made into a fucking superstar at Final Battle last week at the hands of Tony Khan. Triple H didn't do that. Triple H didn't give Vince McMahon a women's superstar. What did he do? How to lose to Nia Jax at the first ever women's pay-per-view and completely destroyed any sort of credibility that Athena, Ember Moon, could have ever had. And then she broke her fucking ankle during a fucking 24/7 title chase. Piss fucking poor. So Sasha had it in her mind of, well, you know what? If the women's division is as bad as it is now in terms of the mentality and the vibe, and I know it's going to take years to repair, why am I going to stay here? And on top of that, Sasha's already done everything there is to do in terms of being a WWE women's wrestler. Outside of winning the Women's Royal Rumble and winning Women's Money in the Bank, she's done everything. Her career is made in WWE. She's going into the Hall of Fame. So maybe she wants to branch out and do other projects. You can imagine that her movie career is looking to take off sooner rather than later. And honestly, and if that's the case, I don't blame Sasha Banks. I really don't blame Sasha Banks. I know she's going to succeed no matter where she goes, and I wish her nothing but the best. Holy shit, lot of news. I hope you guys enjoyed the rants. We are going to get into the news, rumors, and reports. We got, the weekly show reviews, actually. Weekly show reviews. We got 4 weekly shows to cover. I hope you guys have had a great time. Thank you to everyone who's been sticking in the chat. You guys have been fantastic all night long. I always say, I said it at the beginning of the stream, I know Hooligrim saw it. When the daytime goes away, I say, bring on the night. 15 people, man. You guys are rocking and fucking rolling. Thank you to Big Boy Johnny. Thank you, Angels. Thank you, DD. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you very much. You guys are fantastic. This has been fantastic. Thank you to Peanuts and Dylan and the Final Hoss. A fantastic, fan-fucking-tastic show thus far. And we are going to get right into the weekly show reviews here. We are going to talk about Monday Night Raw, which was yet again a very lackluster show. I don't want to say bad show, but I mean, holy shit. The content between Monday Night Raw and AEW Dynamite, it is like night and day. Raw's not necessarily a terrible show, but I mean, Jesus Christ, there is no excitement emanating from Raw. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that A, there's no world champion on the show. B, the women are a sole focus on the show, and women's wrestling in WWE is dead, like I just mentioned. 3, it's the month of December, and Triple H, he's just half-assing it. I understand December may be a lull period, but I mean, look at what Tony Khan did this week. Winter is Coming was fantastic. Rampage was, again, another very good show. They are building up their shows like important shows. Why can't WWE do the same? I don't really get it. I don't get it. I understand you're fighting an uphill battle with Monday Night Raw, but put some fucking effort into it. So the show started off with Bayley versus Alexa Bliss in a number 1 contenders match. Becky Lynch actually attacked Damage Control during their entrance, and she chased off Dakota Kai and Io Sky. We got Bayley versus Alexa Bliss. This match was not good at all. I don't know what happened here. It's like Alexa Bliss. It's like she just forgot how to fucking wrestle. There was no intensity. There was no sense of urgency. There was no oomph to the match. Meanwhile, the last couple of matches with Alexa Bliss have actually been pretty decent. It's like she takes 1 step forward, 2 steps back, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 4 steps forward, 3 steps back. I'm not sure what the deal is with Alexa Bliss. I really don't. At first, I didn't mind her. Now I mind her again. I don't get it. But Alexa Bliss, her winning the match was the right call. That much I will say. That much I will say. Because she is looking to turn heel, although I'm not really going to like the fact that she's aligned with Wyatt. Also, it was kind of stupid what they did here. I thought it was a nice touch on the surface with Alexa Bliss. So she inevitably beat Bayley with a Twisted Bliss. And then Bliss, she went in for a hug on Bianca. All of a sudden, Bray Wyatt's logo flashed on the screen. Bliss teased a Sister Abigail before stopping herself and trying to apologize. So I guess Bray Wyatt's evil forces are trying to take over Alexa Bliss. The only way that I'm really going to be happy about Alexa Bliss being paired with Bray Wyatt is if she's a part of the Wyatt Six. Now, there's a couple of rumors going around. Is the Wyatt Six going to be a faction, or is the Wyatt Six going to be the Six Faces of Bray Wyatt? The Six Faces of Bray Wyatt. Is Bray Wyatt going to be revealed as a schizophrenic maniac? Schizophrenic maniac, Bray Wyatt. Now, if there's one gimmick that could work, I think that Bray Wyatt could very much make that gimmick work because he's Bray fucking Wyatt. But at the end of the day, I would much rather the Wyatt Six be a faction. I think that would be a great faction. I think that Wyatt, Bliss, Bo Dallas, Brother Bo, man. Then you had Vincent and Dutch of the Righteous, who were actually in the crowd watching NXT. They could be in there. That's 5. And then number 6, you could bring back Eric Redbeard. And that's the Wyatt Six. Because then Alexa Bliss would mainly be a manager rather than an in-ring presence. And that is something that she would definitely succeed in. So you got Wyatt, Bliss, Brother Bo, Vincent, Dutch, and Eric Redbeard, Eric Rowan, Wyatt Six. But if Alexa's just going to be aligned with Bray Wyatt on its own, and they're going to be a duo on their own, I don't need that shit. Alexa Bliss ruined the Bray Wyatt character. But Bliss, she looks like she's turning heel, which we need her to turn heel, to be quite honest with you. Bliss is much better as a heel than she is a babyface. Chad Gable. Chad Gable. Shoosh. Shoosh, please. Thank you. Always great to see Chad Gable on my TV. He took on AJ Styles. This went about 9 minutes. It's a very good match. Really nothing over the top. Just two individuals going in there who are great pro wrestlers and having a great wrestling match. Gable took over, sending Styles into the steps. Coming back from commercial, Styles with an Ushigoroshi for a 2. Gable then caught Styles with a German suplex barrage. Pele kick by Styles. Big release German suplex. Gable reversed the calf crusher into an ankle lock. Then Styles reversed the calf crusher. Gable reversed it again. Northern Light suplex by Gable for a 2. Styles then with a beautiful looking Styles clash. Beautiful looking Styles clash. And Chad Gable gets shooshed by AJ Styles. Very, very happy to see AJ Styles back in winning ways. I would actually like to see him in the potential United States Championship title picture. And if we get Styles versus Austin Theory at WrestleMania, I think that would be a great position for Austin Theory. And it would help Austin Theory get more over as the United States Champion. So I'd love to see that. Judgment Day versus the Street Profits and Akira Tozawa. This was probably the best thing on the show. And Akira Tozawa was the highlight of the show for me. Akira Tozawa is back to being Akira Tozawa. Good. Because you know what? Akira Tozawa is a great professional wrestler. He's probably one of the most consistent workers in the WWE. He was putting on bangers on 205 Live. He was legitimately the Japanese 205 Live version of Sheamus. Banger after banger after banger after banger after banger. And then they fucking called him up to Monday Night Raw and made him a fucking ninja. So we got rid of the ninja outfit. Now he's back to being a professional wrestler. And he mixed it up with the Judgment Day alongside the Street Profits. This was actually a very fun tag team match. Easily, for me at least, the best thing on the show. Let's continue to put Tozawa in there and let's have him wrestle more because Akira Tozawa is a very good professional wrestler. So Tozawa and Balor mixed it up a little bit. Hurricane Rana by Tozawa. Coming back from commercial, we had Montez Ford lighting up Priest. Ford with a running blockbuster. Ford kicked Dominic right in the face. Priest launched Ford over the top. Ford just beat the count. Dominic then came in and took it to Ford. Ford fought back, made the tag to Dawkins. Dawkins with a leaping back elbow, stinger splash, and a silencer for a 2 count. Dominic broke up the pin. Balor with the Eye of the Hurricane. Tag to Akira Tozawa and a tag to Dominic. Tozawa brought it. Tozawa with a missile drop kick. Ford then took out Balor. Priest and Dawkins got into it. South of Heaven on Ford. Tozawa then took out Priest. Big suicide dive on Dominic. DDT to Balor. DDT to Dominic. Rhea then motioned to Priest to get him. And then we had Priest delivering the Razor's Edge from the apron into the ring. Dominic covered Tozawa for the win. Judgment Day gets the win, as they should. Very fun tag team match. And Tozawa, give me more Akira Tozawa wrestling on TV. Please. Johnny Gargano and Dexter Lumis. They had a segment on Raw where they were using the money that they won from The Miz to buy extra merchandise and give it away for the WWE Universe. They got t-shirt shooters and shot t-shirts into the crowd. All of a sudden, The Miz came up from behind them in a hoodie and he tried to steal the money back. Adam Pearce then stopped him, told him to give Gargano the money back. Miz was told by Gargano to give Dexter Lumis his money back. Miz then took the mic and said that it's his money. Pearce told the Miz to give Dexter the money. Miz wanted a rematch. So Gargano, being the witty son of a bitch that he is, he kept on calling the Miz Mike. Obviously, Miz was not too happy about that. Gargano then pitched a rematch next week, made it a ladder match, a double or nothing money ladder match. Gargano then told Miz to ask Maurice for an extension on his allowance, and now you must help us hand out all of these presents and merchandise gifts dressed as an elf. If it was as bad as it sounded, that's because it was. It sucked. Why is this feud still continuing? Why is this feud still continuing? This shit should have ended several weeks ago. See, here's what kind of pisses me off. You elected to have Dexter Lumis and Johnny Gargano fumble around selling merchandise to the crowd. Meanwhile, you could have had Dexter Lumis start stalking Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch and their kid. You could have built up a Seth Rollins and Johnny Gargano match for WrestleMania through Dexter Lumis, but instead you choose to have him hang around the fucking Miz and still have him pass around merchandise as if this is, what, this is a fucking holiday promotional episode? Come on. Fucking stupid. Stupid. It's like Braun Strowman on social media. Stupid. Shit should have ended several weeks ago. If this shit does not end next week and that's it, I swear to God, I'm going to be fucking pissed. Again, WWE and AEW's content is like night and day for the month of December. Candice LeRae, she took on Io Sky. Decent little match here. Io was in firm control early on. Candice tried to fight back. Tornado DDT for a 2. Springboard dropkick by Io, sending Candice to the apron. Io then was caught with a nasty-looking Poison Rana on the floor for a 2. Io with a palm strike and a bridging German suplex for a 2. Candice and Io were up on the middle rope. Io pushed Candice off the top. She hit the beautiful moonsault, and Io gets the win. 1, 2, 3. Decent little match. Nowhere near as good as their NXT match. Nowhere near as good as their NXT match. But I mean, holy fuck. Let me tell you something. I appreciate that Damage Control is starting to get legitimate wins right now, but I mean, come on. It's too little too late. I'm sorry. It is too little too late for Damage Control. Really. Elias was in the ring with a picture of Riddle and bongos. He hosted a Matt Riddle tribute concert because Solo Sikoa took him out last week. He says that WWE stands for Walk with Elias. He brought out a piece of paper that had lyrics on them. Riddle wrote Elias a song, and the paper was wrapped up like a joint. Elias sang his song to Riddle, which was actually pretty decent, I'm not going to lie. I think it was probably one of Elias's better songs. He's a very talented musician, I got to say that. He then said it's time for a solo, and Solo Sikoa came out with Sami Zayn. Solo Sikoa, who right now is one of the best things about Monday Night Raw. Solo Sikoa was with Elias. The crowd was chanting Sammy Uso. Solo was in firm control. Elias came in with a wrecking ball dropkick. Coming back from commercial, Solo with a Samoan drop on Elias for a 2. Solo went for a diving headbutt, but he missed. We had a splash in the corner. Nice spine buster by Elias and a leaping knee. Rude awakening for a 2. Elias was then caught with a super kick and a spinning Solo. And Solo beats Elias. Decent little match right here. Solo, right now, I'm loving Solo's booking. Solo Sikoa is being booked perfectly on WWE TV. Solo then continued to beat down Elias. Solo with a Samoan spike to Elias. He then went for a chair and he put it around Elias's neck to do the same thing to Elias that he did to Riddle. Kevin Owens then came out, delivered a stunner to Solo. Then he delivered a stunner to Elias for good measures because Elias and Ezekiel, they have a history with Kevin Owens. And Kevin Owens, he was not too fond of Elias and Ezekiel. That was that. Rhea Ripley versus Asuka. Good match, but at the end of the day, now we've seen it numerous times. Still a good match. Asuka, she came out with no face paint. She looked like how she did in NXT. So I'm not sure what's going on here, but could a heel turn for Asuka potentially be coming? Is Asuka looking to go back to her roots? I don't know. If that's the case, I like it. Asuka then came in with some double knees to Rhea Ripley. Coming back from commercial, Asuka lit up Rhea with some kicks. Rhea Ripley then slowed the pace down. We had Rhea Ripley with a beautiful stalling suplex attempt, but Asuka reversed it. Enziguri on the ground. Asuka then with some stiff strikes, a sliding kick, hip attack in the corner. Dominic Mysterio then caused the distraction. We then had Rhea taking over. Asuka locked in the Asuka lock, but Dominic helped Rhea get her foot on the rope. Asuka sprayed blue mist into the face of Dominic, and Rhea Ripley hit the Riptide for the win. If Asuka's going to turn heel, I hope that she does, because I think Asuka could be a phenomenal fucking heel. And then the main event, it was Bobby Lashley, Big Bob, and Seth freaking Rollins dancing his way to the ring. Seth Rollins. I love Seth Rollins. I think that what he's doing is great. Seth Rollins, number one contenders match to see who was going to face Austin Theory for the United States Championship. This was a very good match for what it was. Rollins came in with a flying knee off the apron. Very nicely done. We then had the crowd firmly being behind Seth Rollins. Rollins was then sent into the crowd. Coming back from commercial, we had Bobby Lashley with a stalling suplex for a 2, which looked very, very nice by Mr. Bob Lashley. We then had Seth Rollins mounting a comeback. Nice crossbody by Rollins. We had Rollins with a suicide dive, super kick, and a Falcon Arrow. Lashley then sent Rollins into the post. Rollins then with a super kick for a 2. Frog splash by Rollins for a 2. Lashley then blocked the stomp. And then Lashley, he hit a power slam, went for the hurt lock, but the referee went flying to the floor and tweaked his knee. Rollins got out. Lashley hit the spear. Rollins kicked out. Lashley was then arguing with the referee. Rollins hit a pedigree in midair, which looked great, and Rollins wins it. Rollins is fighting Bobby Lashley. This was an overall very good match. And then afterwards, Lashley then tried to plead his case, but he ended up accidentally elbowing a referee thinking it was Seth Rollins, and then Adam Pearce came out, tried to talk some sense into Lashley. Lashley shoved him, and Adam Pearce screamed to Lashley, "You are fired." So they're playing that up. I don't know what's going to happen next week, but apparently Lashley and Pearce are having a nice sit-down to talk things out man-to-man. Should be interesting to see what happens there. Well, Monday Night Raw was very lackluster. Couple good things on the show, but ultimately a very dull, a very lackluster show. They really need to turn shit up because whatever they're doing right now, it's just not hitting. It's not working. I don't know. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys are having a great time. Hope you guys are having a phenomenal time. Here's what I need you to do. I need you, if you haven't already done so, go over to the Hardcore Sports channel, and I need you to like the Hardcore Sports stream. The Hardcore Sports LFU, we're live over there. We only have 10 likes. We have 10 likes over there, 12 likes over here. Here's what I'm going to need y'all to do. Go over to the Hardcore Sports channel and like the stream over there. Then come back here and like the stream on my channel as well. I want you guys to like it on both ends, both the Hardcore Sports channel and my channel. So if you guys can do that for me, I would greatly appreciate it, because we're actually going to talk about what was a great wrestling show with AEW Dynamite. Winter is coming. So saddle in. Dynamite Winter is coming. Excellent, excellent show. May have been the best Winter is Coming that they've done. This was awesome. The Elite versus the Death Triangle. Match number 4. of the AEW World Trios Championship Best of 7 series. This was a great match. Great match as per usual. These two teams never have a bad match. It is physically impossible. We had the Elite in early control. Huge dives onto the Death Triangle. Nick looked like he actually tweaked his knee, and that was the story. That was the main story of the match. Nick tweaked his knee. He actually stepped down, and he was taken to the back. So Death Triangle was in control. Kenny took over, hit the You Can't Escape moonsault for a 2. Snapdragon by Omega. Omega then with a tope attempt, but Pac cut him off. Pac with an over-the-top rope cutter, which looked great. All of a sudden, Nick Jackson walked back to the ring, running on pure adrenaline. Nick tagged in. Nick ran wild for a little bit, running on pure emotion with cutters, but Penta used the hammer, and Penta hit Nick in the injured ankle. Nick Jackson was locked in an inverted knee bar. Omega was kept at bay, and Nick Jackson tapped out. Yes, the Elite. Nick Jackson tapped out, and the Elite are down 3-1. And we are now going into whoever wins with the Death Triangle. If the Death Triangle win, they win the series. So the Elite need to go all the way. 3 wins in a row, all the way to the Forum, all the way to that ladder match. And yes, it's an Escalera de la Muerte if it goes to a 7th match. The 6th match, if there's a 6th match, it's going to be a Falls Count Anywhere match. But next week's match, it was made no DQ because Omega took the mic and he pitched that next week, let's make it all weapons legal. Let's make it no DQ. And you know what? I like it. I like it. I like that they're doing no DQ, and I think that this is a brilliant move. This is a brilliant move. It is going to make the series more interesting. And in the end, if we're going to get no DQ, we're going to get Falls Count Anywhere, and we're going to get Escalera de la Muerte for the trios titles. I mean, holy shit. Holy shit. This could end up being one of the best produced series that AEW has ever done. Whether it be from a tournament perspective, from a best of 7 series, from a feud perspective, this is going to be fucking great. I cannot wait to see how this pans out. It is going to be fucking amazing. I cannot wait. This was a great match to kick off Dynamite, and it really set the tone for the rest of the show. MJF, he cut a great promo before his world title match on the show against Ricky Starks. He mocked Ricky Starks' promo from last week. He said, we're going to find out what happens when pressure is applied to the pebble. Will he turn into the diamond that the fans expect him to be, or will he turn to dust? MJF is a great promo. I cannot praise MJF enough. MJF is absolutely fucking legendary. The Acclaimed had a promo on Dynamite. They were doing their normal rap shtick with Billy Gunn, Daddy Ass. All of a sudden, Satnam Singh, Sanjay Dutt, Jeff Jarrett, and Jay Lethal attacked them and Daddy Ass. Bowens got sent into the timekeeper's table. Caster was swarmed. Jeff Jarrett took the guitar, hit Max Caster right in the fucking head. He took that shit like a champ, did Max Caster. Jarrett then said, yo, Acclaim, do we have your attention now? Hey, you little bitch. Why don't you scissor this, slap nuts? And he just threw the title down on them. Pretty simple and straightforward. Now, I understand that some people are going to complain about this. And look, if I was to point out a down point in the show, this would definitely be a down point in the show. But I don't really mind Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal fighting the Acclaimed for the tag team titles as much as other people do. And I'll explain why. Could this have been done better? Yes, absolutely. Could there be other teams that they could be putting up against the Acclaimed? Yes, I understand that. But at the end of the day, when I see this, all I see is an interim program. All I see is nothing more than an interim program for the Acclaimed to use to get through another title defense. Because, look, Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett are not winning the fucking tag team titles. They're not winning the fucking tag team titles at all. All this is, to me, this is nothing more than an interim program because they know that Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett, they can take a loss, no problem. And the Acclaimed are ultimately going to go over, and they're going to move on to what I believe will be the Gun Club. I honestly do believe that they're going to fight the Gun Club at Revolution. The story writes itself. The story writes itself considering that the Gun Club, they're fighting the team that took their father away from them. So I don't really understand all of the complaints about Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal attacking the Acclaimed. Should be a fine match, but at the end of the day, it's nothing more than an interim program. I don't see this as a program in which the Acclaimed are going to lose the titles. I don't see this as a program that's going to extend for the next 3-4 months. This is merely a program that's going to last until Beach Break, the latest Beach Break. I don't see this program going long whatsoever. This is nothing but an interim program. And you know what? I don't mind it too much. Could it be better? Absolutely. It's not the worst thing in the world. But if I was to pick a down point of the show, I would probably pick this as a down point of the show. But again, I do not mind this match and this program like other people do because I know that this is only a temporary program for the Acclaimed to win and have another successful title defense underneath their belt. Simple. Brian Cage versus Jungle Boy, Jack Perry. This was a very good match. And I'm liking what they're doing with Brian Cage. Brian Cage is in a very nice position on AEW TV. Ring of Honor World 6-man tag team champion. And he's been a part of some great fucking matches with Wardlow and Ricky Starks and now Jungle Boy. I'm liking the use of Brian Cage on AEW TV. He's doing good for himself. So good for Brian Cage. Jungle Boy used his quickness against Brian Cage with a nice diving Hurricane Rana off the top rope. Cage then with a stiff kick and a deadlift, deadlift superplex. I almost said German suplex. Deadlift superplex off of the apron to Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy then with a stiff forearm barrage. Jungle Boy tried to mount a comeback. He reversed the powerbomb into a DDT. We had a huge release German suplex by Cage. Then we had a beautiful roll-up by Jungle Boy. We had a discus lariat by Cage, turning Jungle Boy inside out. Cage went for the F5, but Jungle Boy hit a Canadian Destroyer, and Brian Cage kicked out. Brian Cage then accidentally hit Prince Nana, and Jack Perry rolled up Cage to get the 1, 2, 3. Jack Perry gets a big win. We had a great match. And Perry is gaining a lot of momentum. So Jack Perry said, hey, I beat Luchasaurus and Brian Cage, and now I'm going to beat the biggest bitch of them all. Big Bill, get your ass out here. All of a sudden, Stokely Hathaway came out. Lee Moriarty did too. Big Bill came out, and it was a 2-on-1 assault. We had a big choke slam by Big Bill. All of a sudden, Hook came out. And when Hook comes out, you do not want to fuck with Hook. Hook came out to save Perry. Hook then extended the hand, and Hook is now aligned with Jungle Boy Jack Perry. And it looks like that's a tag team match that they are going to have. It's going to be Lee Moriarty and Big Bill versus Hook and Jungle Boy, which I don't mind whatsoever. I think that's a very nice interim program for Jungle Boy until he's ready to fight MJF. I like it. I very much like it. House of Black. My God, do the House of Black look fucking good. House of Black came out with the red lights, ominous feel, and they just absolutely destroyed these fucking people. So Julia Hart sprayed black mist in the face of Camarado. The House of Black, this was great. So Buddy Matthews and Brody King, they attacked Aaron Solo and Cole Carter on the outside. The crowd was chanting House of Black. And Black just sat in the corner and watched QT Marshall. QT Marshall then went walking up to Black, and Malachi Black delivered a Sin Eater to win 1, 2, 3. And the House of Black they're back on the right track. More of these weeks. I want to see the House of Black destroying people on a consistent basis. Now, reportedly, they might go into a program with Eddie Kingston, which I would very much like. I think that would produce some great matches. Kingston and Black, Ortiz and Buddy Matthews. I got no issue with that. So I think that would be some really solid programs. I want to see more of that shit. I'll tell you what was a crazy fucking moment. Chris Jericho, he took on Action Andretti. Now, I do have some news on Jericho and why this took place. Now, apparently, this was not a snap decision. This was actually planned months in advance because Chris Jericho saw one of Action Andretti's matches and he thought that Action Andretti, he looked great. And he wanted to put over Action Andretti. He wanted to make Action Andretti into a superstar, and holy shit, was Action Andretti's career made. And you know what? Action Andretti's actually a pretty decent wrestler. So Jericho slapped him twice. Jericho then shut down Andretti's flurry of offense. Jericho then chopped Andretti. We had a head scissors by Andretti, and then a Death Valley driver by Jericho. The crowd was chanting, "Let's go, Jobber." Chris Jericho then hit a code breaker, but Andretti kicked out of the code breaker. So Jericho didn't know what to make of it. All of a sudden, crowd was lively for Andretti. Andretti then with some chops. Jericho hit the ropes. Andretti with a springboard enziguri and an Arabian moonsault onto Jericho. Jericho with the walls of Jericho attempt, but Andretti rolled up Jericho for a 2. Andretti then with a drop kick, and then he hit a running shooting star press, and that was enough to get the win. He beat Jericho clean. It reminded me of Scott Hall, Razor Ramon, and the 1, 2, 3 Kid. I don't think we've seen something like this ever in AEW. This was completely out of the blue. It caught everyone off guard. The one thing I will say is this. Obviously, Action Andretti is great at what he does, and the fact that Tony Khan made him all elite, I mean, that right there, that is a great, great sign for Action Andretti, and Action Andretti is going to be he's going to be someone to watch out for in 2023. Keep our eyes on Action Andretti. On top of that, I really got to say, it is unbelievable how selfless Chris Jericho really is. Really. Such how selfless Chris Jericho is to go out of his way to seek out talent, see a superstar in someone like an Action Andretti and elect to put him over. That right there is to be respected. That right there is really to be respected, and I give big props to Jericho. 2 thumbs up for Jericho. Well. Almost, I want to say it was, he didn't have to do that at all. It was well surprising. He didn't have to do that at all for Action Andretti, but the fact that he did, it really goes to show you how genuine of an individual Chris Jericho really is. And I do believe that this is actually a part of a bigger story. This is a part of a bigger story to bring about Chris Jericho just spiraling into madness, just spiraling out of control. And you know what? I got no issue with that. Ty Mello and Ruby Soho. That a pretty decent match for themselves. I think Ty Mello and Ruby Soho worked very well together, and we got a very good match. And Ruby Soho got the win. So Ty Mello with a punt kick to Soho right before the match. Tay then went on the attack. Soho sent Ty into the barricade. Ty then sent Ruby into the barricade. Ruby was then sent into the steps. The match officially started. Soho with 3 backdrop drivers. Ty Mello kicked out. Soho hit no future, but Ty Mello rolled out of the ring. Soho then went after Ty, but Ty then with a Ty DT on the ramp. Coming back from commercial, Soho mounted a comeback. We had a super kick barrage. Ty Mello was then sent headfirst into the buckle. We had an STO for a 2 by Ruby Soho. Big punt kick by Ty Mello, which connected flush. And I mean flush. Connected flush. They traded some chops back and forth. We had a Gotch-style pile driver by Ty Mello, which looked very good. Ruby kicked out. Ruby then with a knee right to the nose. So a similar scenario in which Ruby did to Ty Mello what Ty Mello did to her. Knee right to the nose. Ruby hit Destination Unknown for the 1-2-3 win. Very good match. Ruby Soho gets the win as she should. And then afterwards, Anna Jay then attacked Ruby Soho and delivered a decent-looking gory bomb to Ruby Soho before walking away as her and Ty Mello walked away victorious. Or at least in their own mind, victorious. They walked away under their own power, but it was Ruby that actually won the match. Jon Moxley and Sammy Guevara was confirmed for Rampage, as was Sky Blue and Britt Baker. Wardlow was in action on Rampage. Best Friends and Dustin Rhodes took on Kip Sabian, Trent Seven, The Butcher, and The Blade on Rampage. And then next week, we got FTR versus The Guns. Jamie Hayter versus Hikaru Shida in an AEW Women's title match. The Elite and the Death Triangle, match 5 of the best of 7 series. And then in the main event of Dynamite Winter is Coming, we got MJF versus Absolute Ricky Starks. This is a winner's take-all match for the Dynamite Diamond Ring and the AEW World Championship. And this was a very good main event. Very good main event from these two. And Ricky Starks was definitely elevated from this performance. And this is only going to make Ricky Starks better in the long run. And again, if I'm booking this, Ricky Starks is the man to win the Face of the Revolution ladder match, and he is the man to take the TNT title from Samoa Joe. That's where I'm going. But this match was very good. This match was very good. Very, very solid stuff right here in the main event. We had Starks being very over, as expected, because it is his official adopted home of Texas. It's adopted home. We had Starks being super over. He was actually out wrestling MJF in the early stages of this match. We had cradle for cradle for cradle. MJF then slowed the pace down. Coming back from commercial, MJF was in control. Starks then mounted a comeback with a leaping lariat, tornado flatliner, and then a sit-out Liger bomb for a 2. We had a diving stomp to the arm by MJF, roll-up by Starks and MJF, back and forth, back and forth. MJF caught Starks in a power bomb right onto his knee, which looked great. That got a 2. We got a little bit of a hockey fight. We had a punt kick by Starks, rolling elbow by MJF, spear by Starks, but he could not get the cover early on because of the injured arm. Cover by Starks, MJF kicked out right into the salt of the earth. MJF then tried to grab Ricky's right leg as Ricky reached for the ropes, but Ricky got his left leg on the rope. Roll up by Starks for a 2. We had a super kick by Starks. MJF then hid behind the ref. He shoved the ref out of the way, hit Starks with a low blow, and then a roll up by MJF for the 1-2-3 victory. MJF, as expected, as he should, retains both the Dynamite Diamond Ring and Triple B, the big Burberry belt. He was walking up the ramp, But all of a sudden, Bryan Danielson came out and chased MJF into the crowd. And if this is the preview for the potential MJF and Bryan Danielson match that we're going to get at Revolution, man, you can sign me the fuck up. I'm going to love that shit. I'm going to love that shit for sure. But Dynamite was a great show. Excellent show. And coming out of Full Gear, Tony Khan has really got himself a nice, solid string of shows. I'm very much liking what they're doing. And I'm telling you, it is a great thing to see everything slowly starting to come together. Really. It's slowly starting to come together. The production of the show was great. It flowed very nicely. And Tony Khan has seemed to have gotten everything back on track. Look at the shows that we've gotten ever since Full Gear. With Full Gear and Final Battle, Winter is Coming, and Dynamite last week. Even Rampage is starting to feel great again. And I like that. I like that a lot. SmackDown. SmackDown was also a very good show, I gotta say. SmackDown, they seemed focused. They seemed determined. And SmackDown, we felt a little bit like NXT Black and Gold did SmackDown. But before we get into SmackDown, we are surpassing 2 hours. It's past 10 o'clock here on the East Coast. I thank you guys for sticking with me. You guys have been great all fucking stream, and we have been rocking and fucking rolling. We got 2 more shows to go over, and then we're going to get on out of here. So, SmackDown, like I said, very good show. We started off with Liv Morgan and Tegan Nox versus Damage Control. This was for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. So the babyfaces were in control. Nox then came off the top with a huge crossbody off the top to the floor. Nox looked great in this match, I gotta say. Coming back from commercial, Damage Control was in control. Liv Morgan got a hot tag with a step-up enziguri. We had a big knee and a missile dropkick. Dakota Kai with a running boot. Double powerbomb on Morgan by Damage Control, but Nox saved it. Morgan then with a codebreaker to Io. She then launched off of Nox's back into an assisted codebreaker, and then Tegan Nox hit the shiniest wizard, but it was Dakota that saved the match. Morgan then with a sunset flip powerbomb all over the top rope to Dakota Kai, which looked great. And then in the ring, Tegan Nox with a cannonball in the corner. Bayley then got involved. Bayley was sent to the timekeeper's area. All of a sudden, Nox was kicked in the head by a masked person who was then later revealed to be Xia Li, which I really don't know why. I mean, I guess they're trying something with Xia Li, but I really don't know why that they would have fucking Tegan Nox as the woman that Xia Li's targeting. But I digress there. In the ring, Sky hit a beautiful moonsault, and Damage Control retains the tag team titles in a very good match. The women's tag team titles don't mean jack shit, but I mean when you put Damage Control, when you put Liv Morgan, Tegan Nox, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky in the ring together, there's no way that it's going to be a bad match. Let's be honest here. And this was not a bad match. It was a very good match. Sami Zayn and the Usos, they had a promo in the back. Sami was dressed up all nice. He cleans up very nice, touched up his beard. He put his hair in a ponytail, and he was getting ready for a big announcement. But when he went away, Jimmy then said, you know, I don't know with Roman, but could the tribal chief potentially be setting up Roman for disappointment? So when he said that, I was like, ooh, interesting. I actually had it in mind. I thought that they were going to kick him out. I thought that we were going to get the turn. So LA Knight was then up next on the show. LA Knight was shown last week. He was tied up in a chair backstage by Uncle Howdy. So LA Knight came down to the ring, and in typical LA Knight fashion, he goes, "Let me talk to you." I love when LA Knight cuts promo. He goes, I got business to deal with. I've been blindsided, abducted, and tied up. He goes, Bray, I will give you credit where credit's due. Your return was one of the most talked about moments ever. Yet all you've done is dress like a circus freak. You've said a bunch of gobbledygook that never gets to the point, and you attack me. So you know what? You always attack me and you say, oh, it wasn't me, my brother. I know it was you. And I want you to come down here so I can stomp you out. So the lights go out. Wyatt then comes out and he starts mocking LA Knight's catchphrase. He starts going, yeah. I'm guessing that was a little tribute to Brody Lee. Rest in peace to the late, great Brody Lee, who is coming up on the 2-year anniversary of his passing. So he goes, Chicago, how I've missed you. But you, brother, I'm sick of you, and I'm sick of this game. I know you don't believe me, and I understand why, but you're barking up the wrong tree, my man. I'm going to give you one last chance to deliver your message because we both know how this story ends. So all of a sudden, Knight attacked Wyatt. All of a sudden, Uncle Howdy appeared on screen saying, what have you done? What have you done? LA Knight then watched as Uncle Howdy walked out onto the ramp. And all he did was he laughed. He laughed and smiled, and Wyatt didn't know what to make of it. Now, if Uncle Howdy is in the flesh and Bray Wyatt told the truth that Uncle Howdy is not him, it's got to be Bo Dallas. It's got to be Bo Dallas. If you're going to have Uncle Howdy live in the flesh as an on-screen character, then you're going to have to reveal him. If Uncle Howdy's going to be an on-screen character, reveal him as Bo Dallas. Reveal him as Bo Dallas, and let's get the true development of the Wyatt 6 going. Let's get the true development of the Wyatt 6 going. Ricochet and the Ring General Gunther Intercontinental Championship match. Holy fuck, was this an excellent fucking match. If you want to go and watch SmackDown for one thing, it should be this. Because this was great. Gunther, he and Ricochet absolutely tore the fucking house down. You could have easily placed this on any pay-per-view throughout the year. So Gunther hit a back suplex on Ricochet on the apron, and then he hit a chop to Ricochet. Coming back from commercial, Gunther with a Boston Crab on Ricochet, but Ricochet got out. Backbreaker for a 2. Boston Crab again. Ricochet got to the ropes. We had a sleeper hold on Ricochet, but Ricochet was able to get out. He mounted a comeback, but Gunther shut him down with a running drop kick. Ricochet with a Hurricane Rana over the top rope. Drop kick off the apron. Super kick. And a springboard moonsault to the floor. Coming back from commercial, Ricochet with a Fosby flop. Back in the ring. Gunther with a German suplex off the second rope, but Ricochet landed on his feet. Ricochet with a V-trigger. Gunther with a big boot and a lariat for a 2. We had Gunther going for a diving splash, but Ricochet got the feet up into Gunther's face. Ricochet, unbelievable right here. Ricochet with a beautiful fucking spinning brainbuster. Beautiful spinning brainbuster for a 2. Ricochet with no wasted motion. Ricochet, a beautiful shooting star press on the fucking money. Gunther just kicked out. Both men traded strikes back and forth. Ricochet got chopped out of the air and then powerbombed by Gunther, but Ricochet kicked out again. Gunther then said, all right, fuck this, I've had enough. And he delivers the last symphony. And Gunther retains in an excellent match, easily the best Ricochet has looked in years. And Gunther, let me tell you something. What Gunther is doing with the Intercontinental title is a special, special thing. And I am very, very happy that Gunther is on this run with the Intercontinental title. It is a great thing to see. It really is. Gunther right now is the best Intercontinental Champion that we've had since The Miz last had it when he was feuding with Dolph Ziggler back in 2016. You remember that feud? That was a great feud. Miz was a great Intercontinental Champion at that time. Now The Miz sucks. And now Gunther has taken the reins as the best Intercontinental Champion to date. So praise Gunther. Afterwards, Imperium came out to attack Ricochet before Braun Strowman came out to help, and he raised up Ricochet's hand. Adam Pearce was summoned into Roman Reigns' locker room, and he did Roman Reigns, a tag team match. It is Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens and a partner of Owens' choosing on SmackDown December 30th. I like it. I like it a lot. That right there could very well be the show in which Sami Zayn, he could end up fucking up. You never know. Legado del Fantasma versus the Viking Raiders versus Hit Row. This was a #1 contenders match to see who was going to fight the Usos next week for the tag team titles. This was going fine up until the last 2 minutes. The last 2 minutes was a complete fucking botch fest. So, Legado del Fantasma was using their quickness early on. We had double planchas onto the other two teams on the floor. Coming back from commercial, Top Dollar ran wild for a little bit before the Viking Raiders took him down. Sidewalk slam on Cruz. Double team move by Top Dollar. Joaquin Wilde broke it up. Cruz then with a springboard drop kick on Top Dollar. We had a Phoenix Splash, beautiful Phoenix Splash by Cruz del Toro for a 2. We had a float over DDT by Adonis, German suplex by Eric. Everyone started getting their shit in. This is where things just completely went south. Top Dollar tried to dive over the top rope. He botched it to the highest extent. He got caught. He got his feet caught on the top rope, and he didn't even hit anyone. He hit himself on the apron. I'm surprised he was still walking after that. All of a sudden, the ladies then got involved. Zelina Vega with a moonsault taking out Valhalla. It almost didn't even land. It's like these ladies were out of position. Hit Row then hit the heavy hitter for the 1-2-3 win. All I got to say is this. After that botch fest in the last 2 minutes of that match, Hit Row better bring their fucking A game against the Usos next week. Now, Top Dollar did post on social media, yeah, he knows he fucked up. But at the end of the day, you know, his leg got caught in the rope, he was telling me, and he did post a video of him doing it at an actual independent event. So listen, if he's done it before, then that's fine. But let me tell you something, AJ Francis, Top Dollar. If you're going to do something like that, brother, you better be rehearsing that spot privately to make sure that you have it down to a T. Because if you don't, shit ain't going to work out well for you. It's not. I even said that a dive off the top rope, a crossbody off the top rope by Top Dollar would have worked out so much fucking better. He could have fucking killed himself. Listen, you want to do moves like that, fine. But you better fucking rehearse that shit. Really. You better rehearse that shit. Next week, Hit Row and the Usos. Next week is a big SmackDown. Hit Row and the Usos. Imperium versus Ricochet and Braun Strowman. Miracle on 34th Street fight. Women's gauntlet match to see who is going to take on Ronda Rousey. Main segment was Roman Reigns and the Bloodline. They came out for a special segment. Roman goes, Chicago acknowledged me. He talked about dominating War Games, and he said, we dominated War Games, and he embraced everyone. He then said, tonight is the night. Tonight was going to be a good night for you, and he pointed to Sami Zayn, but we got problems. We got a KO problem. So Sami goes, he won't stop stalking me. And Roman goes, in 2 weeks, we'll have a tag team match against KO. And we going to smash him, and we ain't never going to see KO again. Sami talked about KO being his once only friend. All of a sudden, and Didi's going to mark out for this, John Cena. John Cena came up on the screen and he said he received a text message from KO asking to be his tag team partner on December 30th, and John Cena accepted. Big shit going down, people. Big shit going down, and I cannot wait for it. I think it's going to be great. I think that the last two SmackDowns of the year are really going to be good. That was SmackDown. Very good show. And now, finally, we have made it to Rampage. Rampage was also a very good show. Rampage has really become a solid show over the course of the last couple weeks. And I'm very, very happy to see that Rampage is back on the right track. Rampage started off this week with Jon Moxley and Sammy Guevara in a great fucking match. And listen, look, you can hate on Sammy Guevara all you want for whatever fucking reason, but holy shit, is the guy a great professional wrestler. I mean, fuck. He is great. So Sammy Guevara was in control early on with a V-trigger to the face. Moxley then with a superplex. Moxley then with some chops. Sammy then with a corkscrew dropkick. Both men were on the top rope. Sammy then with a diving stomp to Moxley on the apron. Coming back from commercial, Sammy was in control. Sammy bit Moxley in the ear, and Moxley was bleeding from the ear. He then delivered a diving cutter to Moxley for a 2, which looked beautiful. Moxley got out. Moxley then with the walls of Jericho. He was locked in the walls of Jericho, was Jon Moxley. Moxley was able to get out. Moxley then with a curb stomp to Sammy. Sammy sold the shit out of it. Sammy, like the fucking maniac he is, placed Moxley on the timekeeper's table and delivered a swanton bomb from the top rope all the way to the timekeeper's table, which looked fucking insane. Moxley went through the table, as did Sammy. We had some big stomps by Moxley in the ring and a stuffed pile driver by Sammy, or on Sammy, rather. Sammy kicked out. Bulldog choke, but Guevara got out. Big lariat by Moxley. Guevara, out of nowhere, then delivered a Death Rider. He delivered a Death Rider on Jon Moxley. Great. Guevara, swanton bomb off the top. All of a sudden, Moxley kicked out. Both men then were on the top rope again. Guevara with a Spanish fly. Moxley rolled through into the Bulldog choke, and Sammy Guevara ended up passing out. Afterwards, Moxley took the mic and called out Adam Page. Adam Page did indeed come out, and he brawled with Moxley. And he accidentally buckshotted a security guard as Moxley was taken into the crowd. I'm actually liking the build of Moxley and Page, in which Page is not cleared and Moxley's daring Page to step up. I like that shit. So, hot start to Rampage, exactly what we needed. I'll tell you what else was great, and I'll tell you something that we do need more of. FTR cut a promo. And FTR is a very good promo. Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood, they seem like really genuine promos, and this came off very well. So, FTR was in the ring, and they talked about their losses last week. He said that Dax even broke his ass bone, and it was true. It was true because Dax showed it. They bleeped it out, but Dax indeed showed the crowd that, hey, I broke my fucking ass bone. They said that they feel like they let everyone down because you guys have always been there to lift us up. And we owe you eternally for that. The crowd was chanting, you deserve it. And you damn right they fucking deserve it after all the work that they put in this year. So Cash then called out a couple of little kids with daddy issues, Austin and Colton. He goes, if our legacy is going to be killed, it sure as hell ain't going to be by a couple of dumbass boys. So Dax then told the story of after his match with the Briscoes alongside Cash, he was approached by his baby girl. And she goes, Daddy, those people really like you. And Dax goes, yeah, they do, honey. And his little girl goes, why? So Dax then started thinking to himself, I start thinking to myself, why the people like me? And it's because back in the day, when I liked all of my favorites growing up, they made me feel. And that is why I am here. And I wanted to make everybody feel. I wanted to make these people feel just like my heroes made me feel, but the guns ruined it. We are going to whoop your ass. Top guys out. More promos by FTR, please. More promos by FTR. FTR is a very good promo. I actually do believe that. More promos like that. Very nice change of pace for the show. And it honestly is going to help the people really. It's just going to make FTR more popular. Really. It's going to make FTR more popular. So more of these promos, please. Britt Baker took on Sky Blue. Really nothing much to this match. I will say this. Britt Baker won clean, which I'm happy about. Nice to see Baker win clean. And then the heels attacked Sky Blue before Sheeta came out and she took out Rebel and Britt and stood face to face with Jamie Hayter. Wardlow versus Exodus Prime. Wardlow dominated this match. There was no doubt in my mind that Wardlow was going to win. Exodus Prime. I got to shout out Exodus Prime because Exodus Prime sold the ever-living shit out of these power bombs. He was flopping all over the place. I was loving the way that Exodus Prime was selling. So Wardlow then took the mic afterwards and he goes, I've waited too damn long. Bring your ass out here, Joe, so I could whoop it all over Dallas. Joe then came up on the screen with his 2 titles in his hand, with his Hawaiian shirt on. He was going, Wardlow, Wardlow, how dare you dictate what the king should do? And he's speaking in the menacing tone that Samoa Joe speaks in. He goes, I'm not defending you or defending this title against you on TV in this town. I hope that I have to never step foot in this god-awful state ever again. So you have the merriest of Christmases because on December 28th, I will give you everything. I will see you there in Colorado. The king has spoken. My God, my God. Listen, in case you guys haven't realized it by now, Samoa Joe is a phenomenal fucking promo. Samoa Joe will go down as one of the best promos of all time. I love it when Samoa Joe cuts a promo. If they wanted to, I could literally sit here every Friday at 10 p.m. for AEW Rampage, and I could easily just watch Samoa Joe cut promos for solid hours, week in and week out. He's that fucking good. So we got Wardlow and Joe in Colorado for AEW Dynamite at the New Year's Smash event. So they're building up these next few shows, the Holiday Bash and the New Year's Smash, the Forum show. They're really building up these shows to be pretty fucking big. I'm liking it. Main event. Best Friends, Orange Cassidy and Dustin Rhodes versus Kip Sabian, Trent Seven, and Butcher and the Blade. This was a fun little 8-man tag. Everyone did their part here. Beretta and Seven got into it. So the crowd was chanting Trent, Trent, Trent. It was Trent Seven and Trent Beretta. Trent Seven, let me tell you something. If you guys don't know how good Trent Seven is great. And I'm liking that Trent Seven is getting this opportunity. I think Trent Seven is great. So things broke down quickly. Cassidy got clobbered by the Butcher. Beretta then got back body dropped. The heels were in control. Coming back from commercial, Cassidy was on the defense. Tagged Dustin Rhodes. Power slams for the Butcher, Blade, and Sabian. A little flip-flop and fly. We had a neck break bomb on Cassidy by the Butcher and the Blade. Beretta with a double missile drop kick. Double planches by the Best Friends. Sabian with an Arabian moonsault onto the Best Friends. Cannonball by Dustin Rhodes taking out the pile. Cassidy then pulled an Eddie Guerrero on the Bunny. Danhausen pulled an Eddie Guerrero on Penelope Ford. Bryce Remsburg ejected the Bunny and Ford. Sabian then punched Danhausen right in the nuts. Chuck Taylor then took out the Butcher and the Blade. We had Trent Seven delivering an Avalanche Emerald Frozen, which looked great. Dustin saved it. Tagged to Dustin Rhodes. Canadian Destroyer by Dustin Rhodes. Cassidy then with the light kicks to Sabian. We had the natural kick, which is a kick to the balls by Dustin Rhodes on Sabian. Orange Punch by Orange, and a running Bulldog, and the baby faces get the win. I'm assuming that we are probably going to see Dustin Rhodes versus none other than Orange Cassidy for the All-Atlantic title. And that's going to be another title defense for Orange Cassidy. I'm assuming we'll probably get Kip Sabian versus Orange Cassidy, maybe at Battle of the Belts. Love to see what happens, but hey, I got to say, very good Rampage. Very good Rampage. Rampage is starting to feel like Rampage again. The only criticism I have of Rampage right now is the fact that they put too much on the show. You did not need the Wardlow match. You did not need the Wardlow match at all. You could have taken the Wardlow match off the show and just have given us a promo with Britt Baker and Sky Blue getting a little bit more time, because I actually wanted to see what Sky Blue could do, because Sky Blue is actually, she's gotten a lot better in the ring. But that's just me. But again, if they get the match card placement and the amount of segments on the show, if they just decrease that, it's going to work out a lot better for him in the end. And I hope that Mike Mansberry is going to put forth his 2 cents with Tony Khan as well. Ladies and gentlemen, holy shit. It took me long enough, but hey, that's all I got. You guys have been great. Thank you very much. Thank you, Lisa Wardlow. Thank you to Dylan. Thank you to Peanuts. And thank you to DD. Thank you to the Final Hoss and Earl Cole and Mitch Kovsky, Philly Talk Sports Podcast. You guys are all great. You guys have been fantastic. You guys make being DJ Storms worthwhile. Do not forget to like, comment, subscribe. Check out all the links in the description. Keep an eye out. I might do a special Thursday night LFU next week, but I will be doing a New Year's Eve version of the Lightning Flash update just to get that last bit of content out of the year for you guys. It's going to be good. And then next month's going to be a busy month. We are going to have a lot of shit to get into next month, especially with ISPW and what's going on with them, especially with Winter Warfare. It's going to be great. Winter Warfare is coming up. It's going to be Bull James and Tina San Antonio taking on Vicious Vicky and Alpha Jr. Mixed tag team double title match, actually. That's going to be great. Enzo Amore is taking on Rick Recon. Craig Steele is having his last ever ISPW match against HC Loke. Hale Collins, he's fighting Michael Mars for the Tri-State title. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. I'm loving what ISPW is doing, but guys, you have been fantastic. Thank you very much. I'm DJ Storms, and after hours and hours of waiting, you guys got the LFU. This has been the LFU. Hopefully, we are back to our regularly scheduled program to start off 2022. It's going to be a nice, fresh start. Until then, I hope you guys have an awesome, awesome night. And remember, people, one last time before we get out of here, who runs the IWC? Who runs it? I want to know. I'll tell ya who runs it. Who? But DJ motherfucking Storms. And don't you forget it.